12 minutes into the trading session, and boy, have we got a rally for you. The Dow's back to a 1,000-point gain. The Nasdaq is at a 3.25% gain, and the S&P 500 is up 2.5%. That's a very strong start to a Monday morning. Over the weekend, President Trump took to Truth Social to celebrate his tariffs. He called it a financial revolution. Stephen Moore joins me. Steve, I know you're not a fan of the tariffs, but would you call what we've got going now a financial revolution?
Well, it could be the start of one. You know, what Trump has basically been saying, and you're right, I'm not a big tariff guy. I'm much more in favor of free trade and lower tariffs. But if Trump can pull this off, and the only country that could do this is the United States, because we're the hub of the world economy, is to force all these other countries to lower their tariffs. And it looks right now like he's succeeding. I mean, we got that blockbuster deal with the UK last week, and now it looks like, I don't know all the details, I don't think any of us do at this point with respect to China, but it looks like it's a dramatic reduction in tariffs on both sides of the Pacific with respect to the U.S. reducing our tariffs and China theirs. If you get this domino effect, then you're going to see a lot more green on that screen over the next few weeks. Now, I still think there's a lot of, I don't want to rain on this parade, but I still think there's a lot of choppy waters to go with respect to the devil really being in the details of how these negotiations are going to proceed. But, oh my God, I mean, what's the Dow up now? 3,000 points from its low point? Yeah. By the way, this is pretty close to a high point, isn't it, on the Dow? We're pretty close to it.
Yeah, we're not too far away from it. Yeah. Let me put it like that. But look at the gains in the Nasdaq are absolutely spectacular.
Spectacular.
Never see anything. Well,
so, by the way, Stuart, you've known me a long time. I very rarely admit that I was wrong, but maybe I was wrong about this strategy. Because if he's able to pull this off, to my free trade friends out there, we would end up with freer trade and less restraints on trade, both in terms of the tariffs and the non-tariff barriers to America selling our goods abroad. So this could turn out, but I don't want irrational exuberance here, because I want to make sure that we're calm about this and realize there's still a lot of work to be done on the tariff front.
Okay, Republicans are working on Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Yes. Yep.
But the Wall Street Journal says, look, the tax cuts are shrinking. See that? The incredible shrinking GOP tax cut. Mm-hmm. Are they accurate? Are we getting less of a tax cut than we were hoping for?
Well, not exactly. By the way, as you know, I was on the editorial board there for 10 years, so a lot of friends there are still working on these editorials. I think they're a little bit behind the curve on well, that piece ran, I think, on Saturday, but just over the weekend now you're seeing Republicans and President Trump saying we're not going to raise the highest tax rate because we were all worried about that. That would be the dumbest thing to do, because the most harmful rate is the one that has the highest rate. It has the most distortionary effects. So I'm feeling a lot better about things. I would put the odds at 85% at this point, Stuart, that we will get this deal cut. I think now we're looking at maybe 4th of July. I would have liked to have seen it done on Memorial Day. A lot of deals that still need to be cut on that, but I think it's going to be a big, beautiful bill in the end. I really do.
So what happens to the market and the economy? We've got the China trade deal. There are 24 other deals on paper ready to be signed. Suppose we get the tax cut. You've said there's an 85% chance that we get it, and we get some deregulation stuff. What happens to the market then?
Well, it's a beautiful picture. The only real question is how much of that is already priced into the market. I'd say probably a lot of it is, because I think most investors do realize this tax cut is going to happen. The trade deals, I think, are just harder to predict. I mean, my gosh, sir, you've been in this business a long time. Have you ever seen a market like this? I mean, up and down. Remember, it was three weeks ago. I mean, I was on the ledge ready to jump off, and now look at these numbers. So we're not out of the woods yet. I just want to remind people that there's still going to be days when Trump announces some new big tariff and then the market falls. So it's going to be chopper waters, but I feel a lot better about things today than I did a week ago.
I don't want to be guilty of irrational exuberance, which I remember very well from 25 years ago. Steve, thanks for joining us. Great day to be with us, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.